Kate.
I'm Sonia.
And I'm Allison.
And today we're dishing with you from the Daily Dish, located at 5301 Grubb Road in Silver Springs.
And the food is fantastic here. They make their own pasta, including the wonderful mac and cheese you see here, including some great sweet potato gnocchi that we're going to get to later. We also have diverse scallops. The seafood here is always fresh. And they have a wonderful meat dish.
Braised short ribs.
That's
wow.
right. And the shiitake mushrooms really add a little zing to it. And don't forget the dessert. Dessert is always primo here. You can have some sweet potato dessert or the good old creme brulee.
It looks delicious, but don't forget they also are known as the Daily Dish. So on Saturday and Sunday they have a delicious brunch with something I never heard of, which is a build your own Bloody Mary. You can add it with, a gin cocktail or tequila or the standard vodka V8, all kinds of different juices. And then have someone come pick you up.
Just a little bit north of DC, you can come here every day.
And our guest today is acclaimed artist and designer, Miss Maggie O'Neill. Thank you so much for joining us today, Maggie, on the District Dish.
I'm really grateful to be here. Thank you.
We're excited to dish with you because we've seen your art around town. We love your designs, of course, at some of the restaurants around town. But you're also going to talk to us a little bit today about holiday decorating and holiday decor and fun things that we can do because it's December. And we're getting into the spirit.
And we're already exhausted, so how can we make
we're already in the spirit. I feel like it's a good thing.
How do we make this easy and decorate?
Well, I'm glad you asked about the easy part because I'm a big proponent of using what you already have. Especially if you have kids and you have excess materials that you don't even know can be decorative materials. I also think using existing items like glassware or mirrors or platters or things that you would already use as serving dishes if you want to treat those in some way. But
speaking of glassware, I'm holding on to this giant empty jar. So is this something that you have in your house or something that we should go to one of those stores,
crafty places to pick up?
You can go to a crafty place and pick up this container, but a lot of people have, whether it's mason jars or jars. I do this. I don't know if everybody else does this, but after you're done with a jar of pickles or mustard or whatever it is, that you actually have a collection of sort of random glassware. A product that I use a lot in my design work, but also people could have at their home, it's called Etch-all. And there's a couple sites that I can list and give you guys that I think are great for finding a lot of these materials. But with a little stencil on any piece of glassware, or even with a paintbrush, you can then write someone's name or Mary, or Cheers or whatever it is, but any design.
Whatever drink or whatever.
So this came as a plain glass jug, and then you were able to do that. It's really clever.
There's ways to mask different areas of this. So in a restaurant that we designed, Lincoln, we taped out different mason jars and used the etching to create racing stripes or different designs. And so if you
like a DC flag. I could totally see that right here with
I love it.
Nice.
And once you use the etch-all, you can actually also paint on it too, so it can be a different color as well.
And so this is something that you could put, a drink in, but it also could be a vase, so you could put flowers in it or something for decor.
You could do a whole tablescape of etched stuff.
I want to talk about what's under the tree, but I have a feeling this is decor focused as well.
Yeah. So everybody in their house has items and what I did is I got a bolt of burlap, and I've used burlap to wrap presents. I've used burlap to create new pillows with stenciling, naughty or nice on it or things like that. And it's a cute way to cover existing stuff. But this is just an existing vase that I already had, or a jar or a paint can or any bucket that you have. But if you wrapped like a dozen of these down a table, it's darling, it's natural. These are leftover ribbons I had from wedding gifts from Williams-Sonoma. Using what you already have is relatively easy. So buying a bolt of craft paper like that, a bolt of burlap or white craft paper, some spray paint and some stencil brushes, and you can do a lot of DIY projects that actually turn out really charming.
And don't take a lot of time. If you have all these things around, you just have to sort of throw them together.
This project or doing your own wrapping paper might take a little bit more time, but if you're sitting there watching TV or you can get your kids involved, yeah, it's something that, to be honest with you, you can do a roll of your own wrapping paper in about an hour.
Well, and all of a sudden looks like a $50 jug. I mean, whereas before it was fine, but now it makes it blings it out a little.
Yeah. Now, everybody's holiday decor is usually in this color scheme of green and red, or maybe blue and silver. But I mean, sometimes you want to have a different kind of theme. So there's a lot of stuff going on around the holidays. It doesn't necessarily have to be holiday themed. I mean, Lincoln the movie just came out, or maybe you want to do something Anna Karenina.
Yeah.
And I know that you've done some art projects that are around those kinds of things.
Yeah.
So let's say some of your art projects that are Lincoln themed.
That are Lincoln themed. Okay. Well, I'm gonna show you some of my actual. So my other career besides designing restaurants is painting. These are fine art prints that we've made for, obviously for sale, but I've done an entire series of DC scenes. I've done some cherry blossoms, some jazz themed stuff, and you can all find this on my website, which is Maggie O'Neill Art or MaggieO'NeillFineArt.com. But these are some of the most popular ones. Obviously the Capitol, love.
So a Capitol Christmas, that could be really cool.
These are great. You can get these in smaller sizes and they come matted or unmatted.
What do you describe as your aesthetic? What style is
I call
this?
it pop impressionism.
Okay.
So depending on the painting, sometimes I use more of a palette knife, sometimes I'll pour, sometimes I'll sort of skip trowel paint across it, but I paint, sort of in the traditional style, but then I kind of will turn the painting around and throw other colors on it and sort of start from scratch again, and it's a layering process until I feel like I'm really done. But this series is everything from the Capitol and Ben's
Chili Bowl, timeless.
Which is
half smoke.
Good
I'll
for
take
every
one.
time of year.
I've got a bunch of.
Is that the National Cathedral?
Yeah, I've got
Maggie,
a bunch
that's
of the National
wonderful.
Cathedrals.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And I did about 4 of these in every different season. So this is the spring version.
The winter one.
Yes, I do. The winter one's really pretty and it's kind of severe. It's not really usually like as colorful as the rest of my stuff, but obviously good old the bridge, and then
here we go.
Here's our Lincoln.
This is the one I asked about.
Yeah, and this one is obviously popular right now, not only because of the movie, but because of the restaurant downtown.
And something wonderful happened at the restaurant downtown a few months ago. My dear friend Maggie had the opportunity to present her portrait of our President Obama. How was that, Maggie?
That was one of the most exciting moments of my life, both as a portrait artist and as a designer, to actually have him standing there when we had put so much time and energy into really making that a well thought out environment, and the fact that he noticed and he appreciated it, and I got to jab him about small business a little bit.
So did he talk about your design elements?
Yeah,
Did you kind of explain to him the way you've explained to us, the way you make these kind of incredible things out of everyday items?
Yeah, I got to, and I think that's something to go back to. Not that I loved my experience, showing President Obama around. He understood that I was like, these are utilitarian items that people have, from pennies to mason jars to craft paper and burlap. I mean, these are things that people identify as tactile items that you are comforting. They're organic to some degree to your everyday life.
For a designer, it's pretty easy to come up with these brilliant ideas, but for those of us who don't have the training, how do we look at objects, these found objects, in a different way to inspire us to make art in our homes? Is that possible?
Yeah, absolutely. Try to think of the skeleton or the silhouette. In fashion, they use the word silhouette quite a bit. So if you see a frame, okay, that you're like, gosh, I really like that frame, but it's god-awful. It's gold and got purple flowers on it or something. You can, with a coat of spray paint, change the entire quality of that shape into something else. And so I always tell people to look for the silhouette or the bones of something that they think that they really like. I also will say, look at the quantity of items that you have around. If you have a bunch of coffee filters. I mean, it seems like such a mundane item, but they can make beautiful decorative items, maybe not the most utilitarian. You might not want to upholster your sofa in coffee filters, but you can make amazing wreaths and floral
Lamps,
displays and all sorts of stuff. When, Etsy and Pinterest are really helping, I think, everybody find out what they already have in their house and being able to work with it.
Well, our last few seconds, I know you want us to look for things we have around the house, but if there's one thing we have to go out and actually buy to use in our crafts and do-it-yourself projects this holiday season, what do you think that would be?
I think something that people, I'm a big fan of stencils. Obviously, I think people can do a lot with them, whether it's holiday napkins. I mean, you can go get plain white napkins at Pier 1 or Target and transform them into something that do look like something you buy at Neiman Marcus. But I think investing in a set of stencils, you can get them at Michael's, but there's a couple sites, Royal Design Studio, Stencil Planet. I think they have a great selection, and you can find.
Let's hope Santa brings us some stencils.
Yeah, I think
Maggie, thank you so much. We've enjoyed having you.
I hope Santa brings you some stencils.
And you've given us some great design ideas and helped us really get in the holiday spirit, as well as some other things that are going on right around us. Thanks so much for being with us.
Yeah, absolutely.
And as always,
thank you.
Thank you for being with us. You can follow us on Twitter and be our fan on Facebook. And don't forget to check us out right here again next time on The District Dish.